My child, this message cannot reach you by accident. If your heart has been feeling exhausted, restless, emotionally heavy, or quietly overwhelmed lately, then you need to listen carefully, because what I am about to speak into your spirit may change the direction of your life completely. You have delayed your healing long enough. You have carried silent battles long enough. And if you keep ignoring what is happening inside you, the weight you are carrying will only grow heavier. So stay with me all the way to the end of this message. Do not scroll away. Do not distract yourself. Let these words reach the hidden places inside your heart that nobody else fully sees. Because before this message ends, you are going to understand why your soul has been crying out for help, and why this cannot wait another second. I need you to stop for a moment and truly listen to what your heart has been trying to tell you for a long time. You have become so used to carrying emotional weight that you hardly notice how exhausted you really are anymore. You move through your days trying to stay strong, trying to handle everything quietly, but deep inside there is a part of you that feels worn down in ways nobody else fully understands. I have seen the pressure you place on yourself. I have watched you keep going even when your mind felt heavy and your spirit felt empty. You tell yourself that you will deal with it later, that you just need to get through one more difficult season, one more stressful moment, one more exhausting day. But your soul cannot keep living on postponement forever. There are things inside you that need care now, not someday in the future when life finally slows down. Some of your pain has stayed buried because you became afraid of slowing down long enough to actually feel it. You learned how to distract yourself from your own heart. You stay busy. You overthink. You carry responsibilities that leave little room for honesty about how tired you really are. Yet even while you try to move forward, your inner world keeps asking for attention. The anxiety, the emotional heaviness, the silent loneliness you sometimes feel even around other people, none of that appeared without reason. Your heart has been asking for healing in quiet ways for a very long time. I am not speaking to you with disappointment. I am speaking to you with care, because I know how much you have been carrying alone. Some of the wounds you still feel came from moments that changed the way you see yourself. Harsh words stayed with you longer than you admit. Disappointment slowly affected your confidence. Certain betrayals made it harder for you to trust people fully again. You tried to move on from those things without fully healing from them, and now the weight of everything has become harder to ignore. This cannot wait another second, because I do not want you to keep believing that emotional exhaustion is simply who you are now. I never created you to live disconnected from peace. I never wanted you to become so focused on surviving that you forgot what it feels like to rest emotionally. You do not have to pretend with me. You do not have to hide your frustration, your confusion, or your weariness. I already see it all clearly, and I am still here beside you. I want you to stop treating your pain like something unimportant. Your heart matters to me deeply. The moment you finally become honest about what is happening inside you is often the moment healing truly begins. And that is why I am asking you to stop delaying what your soul desperately needs now. I want you to be honest with yourself for a moment instead of immediately pushing your feelings aside the way you usually do. You have been carrying emotional weight that very few people truly see. Even the people closest to you only understand fragments of what goes on inside your mind after the conversations end and the room becomes quiet again. You have learned how to answer questions with a smile while hiding the exhaustion underneath. You tell people you are fine because explaining the heaviness feels too complicated, and part of you has grown tired of trying to make others understand what you cannot fully explain yourself. I have watched you sit alone with thoughts that kept circling through your mind long after everyone else moved on with their day. I saw the nights when your body was tired but your thoughts refused to rest. You kept replaying situations, conversations, disappointments, and fears until your heart felt completely drained. There are moments when you feel as though you must hold your entire life together with your own strength, and that pressure has quietly stolen your peace little by little. Stop carrying everything as though you were created to survive without support. You were never meant to become emotionally isolated while pretending to be strong for everyone around you. Some of your pain became heavier because you stayed silent too long. You convinced yourself that your struggles were not important enough to bring into the light. But listen carefully to me now. Your heart matters. Your emotional wounds matter. The confusion you feel matters. Do not dismiss your own suffering simply because someone else appears to have different problems. Pain does not disappear just because you ignore it. It grows quietly in hidden places until it begins affecting the way you think, the way you trust, and the way you see yourself. Come closer to me instead of running deeper into distraction every time your emotions rise to the surface. Stop numbing your heart with endless noise just to avoid facing what hurts. Sit with me honestly. Let yourself breathe without pretending for a moment. I am not asking you to explain everything perfectly. I simply want you to stop hiding from your own soul. The healing you need will not begin while you continue acting as though nothing inside you is broken. You have spent enough time trying to carry mountains with tired hands. Let me help you now. Release the pressure you were never designed to hold alone. Open your heart instead of locking every painful feeling behind another emotional wall. I know you are tired. I know you are frustrated with yourself for still struggling in certain areas. But do not harden your heart against your own healing. Invite me into the places you avoid. Speak honestly with me there. That is where peace slowly begins returning to you again. My child, one of the greatest mistakes you keep making is believing that healing must wait until life finally becomes less stressful. You keep telling yourself that you will rest later, that you will focus on your heart later, that you will deal with your emotional exhaustion once everything settles down. But the truth is that your soul has been asking for attention for a very long time already. You cannot continue delaying your healing while expecting your inner peace to somehow repair itself on its own. You have become skilled at functioning while emotionally overwhelmed. You complete responsibilities. You show up for people. You keep moving through your routines even when your spirit feels worn thin inside. From the outside, many people would never guess how tired your heart has become. Yet I see the difference between surviving and truly living. I see the quiet sadness you carry into certain moments. I see how quickly discouragement enters your thoughts when another problem appears. I see how often you blame yourself for not feeling stronger by now. Listen carefully to me. Stop measuring your healing based on how productive you appear to others. Your value was never built upon constant performance. Some of the exhaustion inside you comes from trying to earn rest instead of receiving it. You believe you must finish everything first before allowing yourself to slow down emotionally. But your heart is not a machine, and your soul cannot endlessly carry pressure without care. Come sit with me honestly instead of endlessly distracting yourself from what hurts. Put down the pressure for a moment. Stop rehearsing every fear about your future. Stop punishing yourself because certain wounds still affect you. Healing is not weakness. Rest is not failure. Let those truths settle deeply into your heart because you have spent too long fighting yourself internally. I know there are moments when you feel frustrated that you are still struggling with the same fears, the same sadness, or the same emotional patterns. But do not lose patience with yourself. Growth inside the human heart rarely happens all at once. Some healing unfolds quietly, layer by layer, conversation by conversation, surrender by surrender. That is why I am asking you not to wait another second before opening your heart more honestly with me. Invite me into your thoughts before anxiety consumes them. Bring me the fears you hide from everyone else. Stop convincing yourself that you must carry your emotional burdens alone until life becomes easier. Peace does not begin when your circumstances become perfect. Peace begins when you finally stop resisting the care your soul has needed all along. I need you to notice the way you speak to yourself when nobody else is listening. Pay attention to the thoughts that rise in your mind after something goes wrong, after you make a mistake, or after you fall short of the expectations you placed upon yourself. You have developed a habit of carrying your failures much longer than necessary. Even small disappointments stay with you for days because deep inside, you have quietly convinced yourself that you should always be stronger, wiser, calmer, or further ahead than you are right now. That pressure has exhausted you more than you admit. You forgive other people with gentleness that you rarely offer yourself. You understand when others struggle. You make room for their pain. Yet when it comes to your own heart, you become sharp and unforgiving. You replay your worst moments as though they define your entire identity. You look at your life through the lens of what still needs fixing instead of recognizing how much you have survived already. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. You are not failing simply because you are still healing. You are not weak because certain wounds still affect you. Stop treating your humanity like something shameful. I know the hidden fears you carry about not being enough. I know how often you compare yourself to people around you and quietly feel behind in life. Sometimes you look at others and assume they are stronger, happier, or more secure than you. Meanwhile, you overlook the battles you have already endured. You forget how many difficult days you survived when you thought you would collapse emotionally. You forget how many mornings you forced yourself to keep going even when your heart felt heavy as stone. I have seen your endurance clearly, even in seasons when you could not see it yourself. Stop punishing yourself for every imperfect moment. Release the belief that your worth depends upon constant success or emotional control. Sit with me honestly instead of attacking yourself internally every time you struggle. Speak to yourself with the same mercy you would offer someone you deeply love. Invite peace back into the places where shame has been speaking too loudly. Let my voice become louder than your self-criticism. You do not need to earn compassion from me. You already have it. I am not standing over your life keeping score of every weakness. I am walking beside you through your healing, through your confusion, through every difficult step you are still learning to take. So breathe for a moment. Put down the harsh expectations. Allow yourself to become honest about how tired you have been. That honesty is not failure. It is the beginning of freedom. And my child, as you begin laying down the harshness you have carried against yourself, do not ignore the opportunity before you to become part of healing other wounded hearts too. There are souls wandering through darkness right now, silently drowning beneath shame, fear, and exhaustion, and I am using this message like oil poured into broken places to remind them they are not abandoned. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description becomes part of that holy work. I told you in Galatians 6:9, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. And I am speaking that promise over your giving even now. When you release what is in your hand, I release strength, provision, and favor over places in your life that have felt dry for too long. This is not merely support for a channel. This is fuel for a river of encouragement reaching people who were ready to give up another second longer. I am inviting you personally to help carry my voice farther into hurting lives. Do not delay what I am placing on your heart. Sow now, give now, and become part of the harvest I am awakening through this message. There are things you keep returning to even though you already know they leave your heart feeling emptier afterward. I need you to pay attention to the patterns in your life that quietly drain your peace. Some distractions entered your life because you were trying to escape pain, loneliness, disappointment, or fear. At first, those things seemed harmless because they gave you temporary relief. They helped you avoid uncomfortable emotions for a little while. But over time, you began depending on distractions instead of healing. You started reaching for noise whenever silence became uncomfortable. I have watched you fill your mind with constant activity because being alone with your thoughts feels overwhelming sometimes. You scroll endlessly hoping your mind will quiet down. You stay busy hoping exhaustion will overpower your emotions. You chase temporary comfort hoping it will satisfy the deeper ache inside you. Yet every temporary escape leaves the same emptiness waiting for you afterward. That emptiness is not punishment. It is your soul asking for something real instead of something temporary. Come closer to me instead of immediately running toward another distraction the moment discomfort appears. Sit still for a moment and let yourself feel what you have been avoiding. I know that sounds frightening to you because some emotions inside you have remained untouched for years. But avoiding your pain has not healed it. It has only buried it beneath layers of exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional numbness. You cannot keep feeding your spirit things that weaken your peace while expecting your heart to become healthy. There are relationships, habits, and thought patterns that continue stealing your emotional strength quietly. Some of them feel familiar, which is why you keep returning to them even after they hurt you. Familiar pain can become strangely comfortable when healing feels unfamiliar. But I want more for you than temporary emotional survival. I want you to experience genuine peace instead of short-lived relief. Open your heart honestly with me now. Let me show you what is keeping your soul restless. Stop reaching for things that leave you emptier each time. Invite me into your daily habits, your private thoughts, and the hidden areas of your life where nobody else sees the struggle. Do not be afraid of what comes into the light. Healing often begins the moment you stop hiding from yourself. And I promise you this, my child, what I offer your heart will always bring deeper peace than the temporary comforts you keep running back to when life feels heavy. I know there are moments when you sit quietly and wonder why your heart still feels unsettled even after accomplishing so much. You keep thinking that if you solve one more problem, reach one more goal, or finally gain control over certain parts of your life, then peace will naturally follow. Yet every time you arrive at the thing you thought would satisfy you, the feeling fades faster than you expected. For a little while, your mind becomes distracted, but deep inside, the same emptiness quietly returns. That emptiness has been trying to tell you something important for a long time. You were never designed to carry your entire life without spiritual connection. Your soul was created for closeness with me, not endless emotional survival. But somewhere along the way, you began filling your days with constant movement while your inner life slowly became neglected. You kept handling responsibilities, solving problems, and meeting expectations, yet your spirit remained exhausted underneath it all. Listen carefully to me now. Your soul cannot thrive on distraction, performance, or temporary comfort alone. It needs truth. It needs rest. It needs real peace instead of small moments of escape that disappear by morning. Come sit with me honestly instead of immediately searching for another distraction every time discomfort rises inside you. Turn down the noise around you for a moment. Put your phone aside. Stop feeding your mind endless chaos long enough to hear what your heart hath been trying to say. I know silence feels uncomfortable for you sometimes because silence forces hidden emotions to surface. But do not run from them moment anymore. Stay there with me. Let me meet you inside the places you usually avoid. There are wounds inside you that success cannot heal. There are fears inside you that constant activity cannot silence. You have tried carrying emotional hunger into places that were never meant to satisfy your spirit. That is why you still feel restless after chasing things you hoped would finally make you feel whole. Your heart was asking for deeper healing, while your mind kept searching for temporary relief instead. I am not asking you to abandon your responsibilities or stop caring about your future. I am asking you to stop neglecting your inner life while trying to build your outer life. Bring your exhaustion to me honestly. Invite me into the hidden places where your loneliness lives. Stop pretending your soul is healthy while your spirit quietly struggles underneath the surface. This cannot wait another second, because the longer you ignore your inner emptiness, the more disconnected you become from the peace your heart has truly been searching for all along. There are moments when you smile in front of others while secretly carrying guilt that still follows you everywhere you go. Certain memories continue replaying in your mind because you cannot stop thinking about what you should have done differently. You revisit old mistakes so often that they have started shaping the way you see yourself. Even when life moves forward externally, part of your heart remains emotionally trapped inside moments you wish you could undo. I need you to stop sitting alone inside that burden and listen carefully to me now. You have spent too much time defining yourself by the worst chapters of your life instead of recognizing how much growth has already happened within you. I know there are decisions you regret. I know there are moments you wish had unfolded differently. Some choices hurt you deeply. Some choices hurt other people too. But carrying endless shame will never heal what already happened. It only keeps your heart chained to the past while your future quietly waits for you to move forward. Come closer to me instead of hiding behind guilt every time your memories become heavy. Stop assuming you must punish yourself emotionally in order to prove that you learned your lesson. I never asked you to destroy your own peace as payment for your mistakes. I want honesty from you, not endless self-condemnation. Bring your regrets into the light instead of secretly feeding them in silence. Speak openly with me about the things you still carry. Let me into those hidden places where shame has been speaking louder than mercy. You are not beyond healing simply because you made mistakes. You are not permanently ruined because certain seasons of your life became messy. Some of the strongest people grow through broken places they never expected to survive. Stop looking at your entire life through the lens of what went wrong. There is still goodness inside you that guilt keeps trying to hide from your own eyes. I know part of you fears fully releasing the shame because you worry that letting go means pretending nothing happened. But healing does not erase accountability. Healing allows your heart to breathe again while you continue growing wiser. There is a difference between learning from your past and living imprisoned by it. I want freedom for your heart, not lifelong punishment. So stop reopening wounds that I have been trying to help you heal. Stop speaking to yourself as though your failures became your permanent identity. Invite me into those memories instead of carrying them alone another day. Let your heart rest from the endless cycle of regret because this cannot wait another second. Your future needs a version of you that is no longer chained to yesterday. I need you to pay attention to what has been consuming your thoughts lately because your mind has become crowded with fear, pressure, and constant worry. You spend so much time thinking about what could go wrong that you rarely allow yourself to fully experience the present moment anymore. Even during quiet parts of your day, your thoughts keep racing ahead into problems that have not even happened yet. You carry tomorrow's fears into today's peace, and little by little, that habit has been exhausting your spirit. I know why you do it. Part of you believes that if you think through every possible outcome, you can protect yourself from disappointment or pain. You try to stay mentally prepared for bad news, rejection, financial pressure, emotional hurt, or uncertainty because you do not want life catching you off guard again. But listen carefully to me now. Constant worry does not protect your heart. It slowly drains it. Your mind was never created to carry endless fear without rest. Come sit with me honestly instead of immediately feeding every anxious thought that enters your mind. Slow down before your worries completely consume your peace. Breathe for a moment and notice how heavy your thoughts have become lately. Some mornings, your mind becomes tired before your day even begins because fear already started speaking before hope had the chance to. That is not the life I want for you. You have been feeding your anxieties more consistently than you have been feeding your spirit. You revisit fears repeatedly while neglecting the quiet places where peace could grow inside you. I want you to stop rehearsing disaster in your mind as though fear deserves constant attention. Bring those thoughts to me instead. Speak honestly with me about the pressure you feel. Invite me into the uncertainty that keeps you awake at night. Stop trying to mentally control every outcome before life even unfolds. I know there are situations in your life right now that genuinely feel overwhelming. I am not dismissing those realities. But your heart cannot stay healthy while fear becomes your daily companion. You need moments of stillness again. You need truth louder than anxiety. You need to remember that your future is not resting only upon your own exhausted shoulders. So put down some of the mental weight you keep carrying everywhere. Turn away from the endless cycle of fearful thinking for a moment and let your soul breathe again. This cannot wait another second because worry has already stolen too much of your peace, too much of your joy, and too many quiet moments that your heart desperately needed. Let me help you carry what your mind was never meant to hold alone. My child, as you loosen your grip on fear and stop feeding your worries, I want you to understand that generosity is one of the ways I break anxiety's hold over the human heart. The enemy wants souls trapped in endless cycles of fear, exhaustion, and hopelessness. But I am still lighting lamps in dark places through messages like this one. Every gift through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description becomes another flame pushing back against despair in someone's life. Did I not say in Isaiah 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you"? I am still speaking those living words into anxious hearts through willing vessels who choose to sow into my work. When you give, you are not losing. You are planting seed into eternal ground where peace, healing, and restoration continue multiplying beyond what you can see. I see every act of obedience, every sacrifice made quietly out of love for my people, and I will not forget the hands that help carry my word forward in this urgent hour. This cannot wait another second because too many weary hearts are searching for hope tonight. So respond to my prompting now. Support this mission, sow into the work, and let your generosity become part of someone else's breakthrough. There is something deep inside your heart that still believes love must be earned through effort, performance, sacrifice, or constant proving. You may not say those words out loud, but the way you live reveals how strongly you believe them. You push yourself endlessly because part of you fears slowing down will make you less valuable. You overextend yourself for people because you are afraid of disappointing them. You carry emotional burdens quietly because you do not want anyone seeing you as weak, needy, or difficult. Somewhere along your journey, you started believing that being loved depended upon how much you could give without breaking. I know where some of that pain came from. There were moments when affection felt conditional. There were seasons when approval seemed connected to achievement, behavior, or usefulness. Certain relationships taught you to fear rejection so deeply that now you constantly try to stay ahead of it. You try to become everything for everyone because you fear what will happen if you are simply yourself without all the effort. But come closer and listen carefully to me now. You do not have to exhaust yourself earning what should already exist freely. Stop treating your worth like something fragile that disappears every time you struggle emotionally or make mistakes. Stop measuring your value according to how useful you are to other people. Your heart was never meant to survive on constant validation from human hands. That kind of pressure will wear your spirit down slowly until you no longer recognize yourself. Sit with me honestly and allow your heart to unlearn the belief that love must always be purchased through performance. Let yourself rest from constantly proving your worth. I want you to experience closeness without fear, peace without pretending, and connection without emotional exhaustion. Invite me into the insecurities you hide behind productivity and people-pleasing. Bring me the fear that whispers you are only valuable when you are useful. You are allowed to exist without constantly earning your place in every room. You are allowed to need support sometimes. You are allowed to disappoint people occasionally without believing your entire identity suddenly lost value. I need you to understand how deeply this matters because the pressure to earn love has been quietly draining your emotional strength for years. This cannot wait another second because your heart deserves freedom from the exhausting belief that you must constantly perform in order to deserve care, attention, acceptance, or peace. Let that burden go now. Stop chasing approval like your soul depends on it. Come rest with me instead and allow yourself to finally experience love that does not disappear the moment you become imperfect. I need you to notice how much of your life has quietly started revolving around fear. Some of your decisions are no longer being guided by peace, wisdom, or trust. They are being shaped by worry about what might happen if things go wrong again. You hesitate before taking steps your heart deeply wants to take because disappointment from the past still follows you into the present. You hold back your honesty because you fear rejection. You silence your dreams because failure feels unbearable to imagine. Little by little, fear has been shrinking parts of your life that were meant to grow freely. I understand why your heart became cautious. You have already experienced pain that changed you. Certain losses arrived suddenly. Some prayers seemed unanswered. Some people hurt you when you least expected it. After enough disappointment, your mind began building walls in places where trust once lived easily. You started believing that staying emotionally guarded would protect you from future heartbreak. But listen carefully to me now. Fear may create temporary protection, but it also quietly steals peace, confidence, connection, and joy. Come sit with me honestly and stop pretending fear has not been controlling more of your life than you admit. I see how often you overthink simple decisions because your mind instantly imagines worst-case scenarios. I see how difficult it has become for you to relax emotionally because part of you stays prepared for something painful to happen again. That constant inner tension has exhausted you deeply. You do not need to keep living as though disaster is waiting around every corner. Breathe for a moment and release some of the pressure fear has placed upon your shoulders. Open your hands instead of clenching tightly around every possible outcome. You cannot heal while constantly preparing yourself for loss before life even unfolds. Let your heart experience safety again. Invite me into the places where fear keeps speaking the loudest. Bring me the relationships, decisions, and uncertainties that make your mind restless. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom or pretend difficulties do not exist. I am asking you to stop allowing fear to become the loudest voice guiding your future. Your life was never meant to become smaller because of what hurt you previously. There is still beauty ahead of you that fear cannot see clearly. There are moments waiting for you that anxiety keeps trying to convince you are impossible. This cannot wait another second because fear has already stolen enough time, enough peace, and enough emotional energy from your life. Stop surrendering your future to constant worry. Step closer to me instead. Let trust slowly grow stronger than fear again. Your heart deserves more than a life controlled by survival instincts alone. I know how often you tell people you are okay even when your heart feels overwhelmed underneath the surface. You have become skilled at hiding your emotional exhaustion behind normal conversations, responsibilities, and routines. Many people around you assume you are managing everything well because you rarely allow anyone to fully see the weight you carry privately. But pretending to be fine has become exhausting for you too. Deep inside, There are moments when you wish someone would notice how tired you really are without you needing to explain it. You learned early that vulnerability felt risky. Maybe people dismissed your emotions in the past. Maybe you opened your heart before and felt misunderstood afterward. Maybe life taught you to become emotionally independent because relying on others led to disappointment. So now you carry things silently. You process pain quietly. You cry privately. You struggle internally while continue to function externally. But listen carefully to me now. Hiding your pain does not make it disappear. It only leaves you carrying burdens without support. Come closer to me honestly instead of constantly performing emotional strength for everyone around you. Stop feeling ashamed of your need for comfort, rest, reassurance, or care. Your heart was never designed to survive endless pressure in complete isolation. I want you to release the belief that needing help somehow makes you weak. It does not. Some of the strongest healing begins when you finally stop pretending everything is under control. I see the loneliness you feel sometimes even while surrounded by people. I see the emotional distance growing inside you because you no longer know how to fully express what you are carrying. There are thoughts you never speak aloud because you fear becoming a burden. There are emotions you push aside because dealing with them feels overwhelming. Yet your soul keeps asking for honesty, rest, and connection in quiet ways every single day. Sit with me for a moment and let your guard lower. You do not need polished words with me. You do not need to organize your emotions perfectly before bringing them into the light. Speak freely. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to become emotionally real instead of emotionally hidden all the time. Invite me into the sadness, frustration, confusion, and exhaustion you keep locked behind your strong appearance. This cannot wait another second because your heart is growing tired from carrying hidden pain alone. You deserve spaces where honesty can exist without fear. You deserve peace that does not require pretending. And I want you to know that you never needed to hide your struggles from me in the first place. I need you to notice how often your mind keeps returning to moments that wounded you deeply. Even when your day seems calm on the outside, certain memories still pull at your emotions without warning. A conversation, a familiar place, a quiet moment at night, and suddenly your heart feels heavy again. You replay situations you wish had ended differently. You revisit words that cut deeply into your confidence. You think about the people who walked away, the opportunities that disappeared, and the seasons that left you feeling abandoned or broken. Part of you keeps looking backward because you are still trying to understand why certain pain entered your life at all. I know those memories affected you more than most people realize. Some disappointments changed the way you trust others. Some betrayals changed the way you trust yourself. There were moments when you genuinely believed certain people would stay forever, and losing them created wounds you never fully processed. Even now, pieces of that heartbreak still influence the way you approach relationships, vulnerability, and hope. But listen carefully to me now. You cannot fully receive peace while continuously reopening emotional doors that were already trying to close. Come sit with me honestly instead of endlessly replaying painful moments in your mind like a broken record that never stops spinning. Stop feeding your sorrow by revisiting every detail repeatedly. Your heart deserves rest from constant emotional reliving. I am not asking you to pretend your pain never existed. I am asking you to stop building your identity around what wounded you. Those moments hurt you, but they are not the full story of your life. There are beautiful parts of your future that cannot fully unfold while your soul stays emotionally anchored to yesterday. You keep searching the past for answers that will never fully satisfy your heart. Some things happened because people were broken. Some things happened because life became painful and complicated. Some things you may never completely understand. But do not let unanswered questions trap your spirit inside old grief forever. Invite me into those memories instead of carrying them alone another day. Let me help you separate wisdom from emotional imprisonment. Healing does not mean you suddenly forget everything that happened. Healing means your past no longer controls the atmosphere of your present life. That freedom matters deeply for your future. This cannot wait another second because your heart has spent too much time looking backward while life continues moving forward. Stop reopening doors that peace was trying to close gently. Lift your eyes again. Breathe again. Let your soul experience the possibility that joy still belongs in your future despite everything you survived behind you. My child, as you stop reopening doors that pain was trying to close, I want you to recognize that I am also opening new doors for healing, freedom, and hope through this message, reaching others who are trapped in yesterday's sorrow. There are people listening whose hearts are barely holding together, and I am sending my word like fresh water into dry ground so they will not collapse beneath grief. Every time you give through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description, you help carry that living water farther than you realize. I told you in Psalm 126 that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy, and I am watching over every seed planted with faith and compassion. What you release in obedience becomes light for someone still wandering through emotional darkness. I will multiply what is surrendered to me, and I will breathe favor, protection, and provision back into the lives of those who help strengthen my work. This is not coincidence. This is a divine moment where heaven is asking willing hearts to move while the door is open. Do not ignore the stirring inside you. Act now, sow now, and help me reach the wounded before another soul gives up hope. I know you keep telling yourself that you are managing everything well enough, but your soul has been sending quiet signals that you are far more emotionally exhausted than you admit. You push yourself through responsibilities, conversations, deadlines, and expectations while ignoring the heaviness building inside you day after day. Your body keeps moving, but your heart feels tired in ways that rest alone cannot fix. Even simple things have started feeling heavier lately because emotional exhaustion changes how you carry ordinary life. You have become so accustomed to functioning while depleted that you barely recognize how deeply your inner peace has been affected. Some days, you wake up already overwhelmed before anything even happens. Your thoughts immediately start racing through unfinished problems, responsibilities, fears, and emotional pressure. You keep trying to pour strength into other people while quietly running empty yourself. That kind of living cannot continue forever without affecting your spirit deeply. Come closer to me and stop pretending your exhaustion is simply normal life. Listen carefully to what your heart hath been asking for repeatedly. You need restoration, not just distraction. You need emotional stillness, not endless stimulation. You need moments where your soul can breathe instead of constantly staying in survival mode. Slow down long enough to notice how much tension you carry inside your thoughts every single day. I see how difficult it has become for you to fully relax because your mind stays alert constantly. Even during moments meant for rest, part of you remains mentally preparing for the next problem, the next disappointment, or the next responsibility. The constant emotional pressure has slowly drained your joy, your patience, and your ability to feel fully present. You have been surviving on emotional fumes while telling yourself to keep pushing harder. Stop forcing yourself to carry life as though your soul never needs care. Sit with me honestly and release the pressure to constantly hold everything together. Let yourself admit when you are tired. Let yourself admit when your heart feels overwhelmed. There is no shame in needing restoration. There is wisdom in recognizing your limits before exhaustion completely hardens your spirit. This cannot wait another second because emotional exhaustion affects more than your mood. It changes how you think, how you love, how you trust, and how you experience life itself. I do not want you losing yourself while trying to carry more than your heart was ever designed to hold alone. Come rest with me now instead of waiting until your soul becomes completely overwhelmed. I know how often you disappear into your own thoughts without even realizing it. You can be sitting in a room full of people while feeling emotionally miles away from everyone around you. Your mind drifts into worries, memories, regrets, fears, and silent conversations that never seem to stop. There are moments when you become trapped inside your own head for so long that you forget what peace even feels like. I have watched you carry entire emotional storms privately while continuing to smile outwardly so nobody notices the battle happening underneath. You were never meant to live imprisoned inside constant overthinking. Yet little by little, your thoughts became louder than your peace. You replay situations repeatedly trying to gain control over outcomes you cannot change anymore. You analyze every conversation searching for hidden meanings. You question yourself constantly. Some days your mind feels like a crowded room where fear, self-doubt, sadness, and pressure all speak at once. That inner noise has been exhausting your spirit more than you understand. Come sit with me for a moment and step away from the chaos inside your thoughts. Breathe slowly. Stop trying to solve your entire life inside one anxious night of overthinking. Your mind cannot carry the weight of every possibility, every fear, and every unanswered question all at once. I need you to stop treating your thoughts like absolute truth every time anxiety speaks loudly. Not every fearful thought deserves your agreement. Not every negative assumption deserves your emotional energy. I know overthinking became your way of trying to feel safe. You believed that if you analyzed everything deeply enough, maybe you could avoid future pain or disappointment. But instead of protecting your peace, it slowly consumed it. Your soul needs quiet again. Your spirit needs stillness instead of endless mental pressure. Invite me into your thoughts before they spiral deeper into fear. Let me calm the places inside you that have stayed restless for too long. You do not need to figure everything out tonight. You do not need to carry tomorrow's uncertainty inside today's heart. Slow your mind down and let yourself exist in this moment with me instead of constantly living inside imagined futures or painful memories. I want you to experience emotional safety again, not endless internal chaos. This cannot wait another second because your mind has become too overcrowded with fear, pressure, and exhaustion. Stop isolating yourself inside endless thought loops that leave your spirit drained. Come back into peace with me. Let your heart breathe again without carrying the impossible burden of controlling everything through worry and overthinking. My child, somewhere along your journey, you slowly stopped seeing yourself clearly. Life wounded your confidence in quiet ways over time. Disappointment affected the way you speak to yourself. Rejection shaped how you measure your worth. Certain failures convinced you that you are less capable, less lovable, or less important than you truly are. Even when people compliment you, part of you struggles to believe them because deep inside, your view of yourself has become clouded by pain you never fully healed from. I see how often you diminish yourself without noticing it. You compare your life to others and quietly feel behind. You look at your unfinished goals, your flaws, your struggles, and your weaknesses while completely overlooking your strength, your growth, and your endurance. You have survived seasons that nearly broke you emotionally, yet you rarely give yourself credit for continuing forward. Instead, you focus on what still feels imperfect inside you. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. Stop measuring your value through the eyes of people who never fully understood your heart. Stop defining yourself according to your lowest moments. You are more than your worst mistake. You are more than your insecurities. You are more than the rejection you experienced. I need you to stop speaking about yourself with constant disappointment, as though your life has no beauty left inside it. You carry gifts, kindness, wisdom, resilience, and compassion that your pain keeps trying to hide from your own eyes. Even in your difficult seasons, there are parts of you that remain soft when life tried to harden you completely. There were moments when you still cared for others while silently hurting yourself. There were moments when you kept moving forward despite emotional exhaustion pressing heavily against your spirit. That strength matters more than you realize. Invite me into the places where insecurity hath been shaping your identity. Let me heal the distorted view you have carried about yourself for too long. Stop waiting for perfection before believing your life still holds meaning and beauty. Your worth was never dependent upon constant success, endless confidence, or flawless behavior. You matter because you are deeply loved, even during seasons when you feel broken, confused, or emotionally worn down. This cannot wait another second because the way you see yourself affects every part of your life. It affects your relationships, your peace, your confidence, and your ability to receive love honestly. I do not want you walking through life believing you are small, unwanted, or unworthy while I continue seeing incredible value in you every single day. There are wounds inside you that you keep trying to manage instead of truly heal. You have learned how to function around your pain so well that even you sometimes forget how deeply certain things still affect your heart. You push difficult emotions aside whenever they begin surfacing because facing them feels exhausting. You tell yourself you are over it. You convince yourself enough time has passed. Yet certain reactions, fears, and emotional triggers continue revealing that some parts of your soul are still carrying unresolved hurt quietly beneath the surface. I know there are conversations you still replay in your mind because they change the way you see yourself. I know there are moments when rejection still echoes inside your confidence even years later. Some wounds entered your life slowly through repeated disappointment. Others arrived suddenly and left emotional scars you never expected to carry this long. Instead of healing those places gently, you became focused on surviving life around them. But listen carefully to me now. Surviving pain and healing from pain are not the same thing. Come sit with me honestly instead of rushing away from uncomfortable emotions every time they rise. Stop distracting yourself long enough to notice what your heart hath been asking for repeatedly. There are parts of you that still need compassion, truth, and restoration. You cannot keep covering deep emotional wounds with busyness, productivity, or constant noise while hoping they will disappear on their own. Hidden pain continues shaping your thoughts, your relationships, and your peace until it is finally brought into the light. I am not asking you to relive every painful moment endlessly. I am asking you to stop pretending those wounds no longer matter. Invite me into the areas where your heart still feels fragile. Speak honestly about the anger, sadness, confusion, or fear you have been carrying privately. Stop feeling ashamed of the fact that some things still hurt you. Healing is rarely quick or simple when the heart has carried pain for a long time. You deserve more than emotional survival. You deserve freedom from constantly carrying invisible wounds that continue exhausting your spirit underneath your daily life. Let yourself become emotionally honest instead of emotionally numb. Allow your heart to soften again instead of protecting itself through distance and silence. There is peace waiting for you beyond the emotional walls you built to survive difficult seasons. This cannot wait another second because ignored wounds do not stay still forever. They slowly shape the way you live, love, trust, and see yourself. I do not want your future controlled by pain you never allowed yourself to heal from properly. Come closer now. Let your soul begin breathing again in places where hurt has lived for far too long. My child, as you allow hidden wounds to come into the light so healing can begin, understand that there are countless others still suffering silently behind smiles, routines, and emotional walls. I am using this message as fire in the darkness, awakening hearts that have nearly gone numb from carrying pain too long alone. Every offering through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description becomes part of sending healing oil into broken places across the earth. Did I not say in Jeremiah 30:17, I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds? Those words are alive, and I am still fulfilling them through voices willing to carry my truth boldly. Your generosity is not small in my eyes. It becomes seed that helps wounded souls encounter restoration, freedom, and hope again. I see every giver, and I will pour back blessings pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing into the lives of those who honor me through obedience and compassion. This moment carries urgency because pain is spreading quickly, but so is my healing power through willing hands. So do not wait. Give now. Support this mission now, and become part of the healing I am releasing into hurting hearts. I know how often you look at other people and quietly feel as though your life should be further along by now. You compare your progress, your relationships, your finances, your healing, and your future to what you see around you, and that comparison has been stealing your peace more than you realize. There are moments when you wonder if you missed opportunities that everyone else somehow managed to find. You question your timing constantly. You look at unfinished goals and assume something must be wrong with you because your journey does not resemble someone else's path. I need you to stop measuring your life against people who were never given your story to carry. You do not fully see what others battle privately, just as they do not fully see what you have survived quietly. Some people reached certain milestones while carrying burdens far lighter than yours. Others appear successful externally while their inner lives feel empty and exhausted. Comparison distorts your vision because it convinces you to overlook your own growth while magnifying everyone else's progress. Come sit with me honestly and release the pressure to constantly measure your worth through timelines. Your life is not late simply because it unfolded differently than you expected. Some seasons took longer because your heart needed healing first. Some delays protected you from stepping into situations before you were emotionally ready to carry them. I know there were moments when waiting frustrated you deeply. You prayed for doors to open faster. You questioned why life felt easier for others while you kept struggling through difficult seasons. But not every delay was punishment. Some delays became protection. Some became preparation. Stop speaking about yourself as though your future already lost its value because things did not happen according to your original plans. Your story is still unfolding. There are parts of your life developing right now that you cannot fully see yet. Do not let comparison poison your ability to appreciate your own growth, resilience, wisdom, and endurance. You have survived seasons that changed you profoundly, and those experiences shaped strength inside you that quick success never could. Invite me into the frustration you feel about your timing. Bring me the disappointment, the impatience, and the fear that your best years are somehow behind you already. Let me calm the pressure inside your heart that keeps telling you to rush your entire life forward. You do not need to sprint through your journey trying to catch up with everybody else. This cannot wait another second because comparison has already stolen enough joy from your life. Lift your eyes away from other people's timelines and return your focus to the path unfolding in front of you. Your life still carries purpose, beauty, growth, and possibility, even if your journey looks different than you once imagined. I know how often you carry responsibilities in silence because you do not want to burden anyone else with what you are feeling. You have trained yourself to become emotionally self-sufficient even when your heart desperately needs support. When life becomes heavy, your first instinct is usually to withdraw inward, think through everything privately, and try to solve your struggles alone. You rarely allow people to fully see how overwhelmed you feel because somewhere inside you learned that vulnerability could become dangerous or disappointing. I understand why your heart became guarded. There were moments when you reached for support and felt misunderstood. There were times when people failed you emotionally, and afterward you quietly decided it felt safer to rely only on yourself. But listen carefully to me now. Carrying everything alone has slowly exhausted your spirit more than you realize. Your mind stays tense constantly because you feel responsible for holding every part of your life together without falling apart publicly. Come sit with me honestly instead of isolating yourself every time pressure increases. Stop assuming strength means silence. Some burdens become heavier simply because you refuse to share them with anyone, including me. I see how tired your heart becomes after spending entire days mentally carrying responsibilities, fears, emotional pain, and unanswered questions by yourself. Even your quiet moments no longer feel restful because your thoughts continue working endlessly underneath the surface. You were never created to live disconnected from comfort, support, and emotional closeness. Your soul needs safe places to rest. Your spirit needs moments where you no longer feel responsible for solving every problem immediately. Let your shoulders loosen for a moment. Breathe deeply instead of staying locked inside constant pressure. Invite me into the areas where you feel unsupported, uncertain, or emotionally overwhelmed. Speak honestly about the weight you have been carrying privately for far too long. There are situations in your life right now that cannot be healed through endless overthinking or personal effort alone. Some things require surrender. Some things require trust. Some things require you to admit that your heart needs help instead of pretending you can continue carrying impossible emotional loads forever. I am not disappointed by your limits. I care about your well-being more deeply than you understand. This cannot wait another second because emotional isolation slowly hardens the heart. I do not want you becoming so accustomed to carrying pain privately that you forget what genuine peace and support feel like. Stop trying to survive life as though you must face every burden alone. Come closer to me now. Let your heart finally rest from the exhausting pressure of holding everything together by yourself all the time. I know you keep asking for certainty before making certain changes in your life. You want reassurance. You want confirmation. You want guarantees that everything will work out before you take uncomfortable steps forward. So you wait. You hesitate. You delay difficult decisions while quietly hoping for some unmistakable sign that removes every doubt from your mind completely. But deep inside, there are already things your heart knows clearly that fear keeps trying to silence. You already know certain habits are draining your peace. You already know some relationships continue hurting your spirit. You already know there are conversations you need to have, boundaries you need to set, and emotional patterns you need to stop feeding. Yet part of you keeps postponing those changes because discomfort scares you. You hope clarity will arrive without requiring courage from you first. But listen carefully to me now. Sometimes the sign you keep asking for is the deep unrest you already feel inside. Come sit with me honestly, and stop pretending confusion is the only thing keeping you stuck. Some of your hesitation comes from fear of change, fear of disappointing people, or fear of stepping into unfamiliar territory. I understand those fears. Change often feels uncomfortable before it feels freeing. But delaying necessary healing only prolongs the emotional exhaustion you are already carrying. Your soul has been whispering truth to you quietly for a long time now. I am not asking you to rush recklessly into every decision. I am asking you to stop ignoring what your heart already recognizes clearly. Pay attention to the heaviness certain environments create inside you. Notice which situations repeatedly steal your peace. Stop overriding your emotional exhaustion simply because you are afraid of what honesty might require next. Invite me into those difficult areas instead of endlessly avoiding them. You do not need to have your entire future figured out before taking one honest step toward healing, peace, or growth. Some clarity only arrives after movement begins. Some freedom only appears after you stop resisting necessary change. I know part of you fears making the wrong decision, but remaining emotionally stuck out of fear is slowly draining your spirit too. This cannot wait another second because hesitation has already kept you trapped in exhausting cycles for too long. Stop waiting for life to become completely clear before responding to what your heart already knows deeply. Take one honest step forward. Open your heart to change instead of resisting it constantly. I am already walking beside you, even in the uncertainty that still scares you right now. I know how often your mind keeps reaching for control because uncertainty makes you uncomfortable. You try to think ahead constantly, prepare for every possibility, and prevent things from falling apart before they even happen. Part of you believes that if you stay alert enough, careful enough, and responsible enough, then maybe you can avoid future disappointment. But this constant need to manage every detail has quietly become one of the greatest sources of your emotional exhaustion. You carry situations in your mind long after there is nothing left for you to do about them. You replay conversations searching for reassurance. You overanalyze decisions because you fear making mistakes. You place pressure on yourself to keep everyone happy, maintain stability, solve problems quickly, and protect yourself emotionally all at once. Meanwhile, your heart keeps growing more tired underneath the weight of responsibilities you were never meant to carry alone. Listen carefully to me now. Control may give temporary comfort, but it cannot create lasting peace. Come sit with me honestly and loosen your grip for a moment. Breathe deeply instead of staying locked inside constant mental tension. You do not need to predict every outcome before life unfolds. You do not need to solve tomorrow before today even finishes. Your soul was not designed to survive under endless pressure and overthinking. Yet you keep carrying emotional weight as though everything depends entirely upon you. I know part of your need for control comes from pain you already survived. There were seasons when life felt unpredictable, and afterward your heart became afraid of uncertainty. You learned to stay mentally prepared because disappointment caught you off guard before. But trying to control everything has not protected your peace the way you hoped. It has only kept your mind restless and your spirit exhausted. Invite me into the situations you keep trying to manage through fear, pressure, and endless mental effort. Stop carrying impossible emotional responsibility for every outcome around you. Some things are beyond your control no matter how much energy you pour into worrying about them. Let your shoulders rest from the constant pressure to hold everything together perfectly. This cannot wait another second because your heart is becoming drained from living in constant emotional tension. You deserve moments where your mind can rest without fear controlling every thought. You deserve peace that does not depend upon perfect circumstances or complete certainty. Come closer to me now and allow yourself to release some of the control you have been clinging to so tightly. Trust cannot grow while fear keeps gripping every part of your future. Let go solely. I am still holding you even when life feels uncertain. My child, as you finally release the exhausting burden of trying to control everything, I want you to trust me enough to become part of what I am building through this message reaching the weary and overwhelmed. There are souls collapsing under pressure tonight, desperate for one word of hope, one reminder that they are not carrying life alone, and I am sending my voice to them through this mission. Every seed sown through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description helps push back darkness and carry my peace into homes filled with fear and emotional exhaustion. I told you in Luke 6:38, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And I am still honoring that promise over those who release their resources with faith instead of fear. When you loosen your grip and trust me with generosity, you make room for my provision, protection, and supernatural peace to flow back into your own life like a river that does not run dry. This is not simply about money. This is about obedience, trust, and helping souls encounter my presence before it is too late. Heaven is watching what you do with this moment, because this work is reaching hearts that cannot wait another second longer. So obey the stirring within you right now. Sow your seed, support this mission immediately, and help carry my word to those crying out for hope. I know there are moments when you look back at certain seasons of your life and quietly wonder whether too much damage was done for things to ever become truly beautiful again. Some experiences affected you deeply. Certain disappointments changed the way you dream. Certain heartbreaks left scars that still ache unexpectedly. There are parts of your story you rarely talk about because remembering them still stirs sadness, regret, or confusion inside you. Over time, you started believing that those broken seasons permanently reduced what your future could become. I need you to stop seeing your difficult chapters as proof that your life has lost its value. Pain may have changed you, but it did not destroy your purpose. The mistakes you made, the losses you survived, the failures you carry, and the heartbreaks that wounded you are not the final definition of your story. Yet you keep looking at yourself through the lens of what went wrong instead of recognizing how much strength, wisdom, and compassion those difficult seasons produced inside you. Come sit with me honestly and release the belief that your future became smaller because your journey became painful. Some of the most meaningful growth inside you was born during seasons you never would have chosen willingly. I saw the nights when you felt emotionally shattered. I saw the mornings when getting out of bed required more strength than anyone realized. I saw how many times you kept moving forward while carrying grief, uncertainty, loneliness, or exhaustion privately. That endurance matters more than you understand. You are not disqualified from peace because life became messy. You are not beyond restoration because certain chapters hurt deeply. Stop speaking about your future as though beauty, joy, love, healing, or purpose somehow belong only to people with perfect stories. Your wounds do not make you less worthy of meaningful things ahead. Some of the gentlest hearts are formed inside broken seasons that taught them how deeply people can hurt. Invite me into the hopeless thoughts that keep telling you your best days are already behind you. Let me heal the discouragement that settled into your spirit after disappointment stayed longer than you expected. Stop assuming your life reached its highest point already. There is still growth ahead. There is still healing ahead. There are still moments waiting for you that your current pain cannot fully imagine yet. This cannot wait another second because hopelessness has been quietly draining your ability to expect good things again. Lift your eyes from the ruins of old seasons and let your heart believe that restoration is still possible for you. I have not abandoned your future simply because your past became painful. I need you to pay attention to the atmosphere you keep surrounding your heart with every day. You say you want peace, yet your mind rarely experiences stillness. From the moment you wake up, noise rushes toward you from every direction. Endless information, constant pressure, emotional tension, comparisons, bad news, worries about the future, and thoughts that never seem to quiet down. Your soul has been trying to rest while living inside an environment that constantly drains it. Little by little, that chaos has become so familiar that you barely notice how deeply it affects your spirit anymore. I see how difficult it has become for you to simply sit quietly without reaching for distraction immediately. Silence makes you uncomfortable because silence allows buried emotions to rise to the surface. So instead of slowing down, you fill every empty moment with noise. Your mind stays occupied constantly because stillness forces you to confront the exhaustion, sadness, and confusion you have been trying to outrun. But listen carefully to me now. Peace cannot grow inside a heart that never slows down long enough to receive it. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and step away from the constant noise that has been crowding your thoughts. Turn down the chaos around you. Breathe slowly instead of rushing from one emotional pressure into another. Your soul needs space to recover. Your heart needs moments where fear, comparison, and mental overload stop shouting loudly enough for you to finally hear your own spirit again. You cannot keep feeding your mind anxiety every day while expecting your heart to feel calm. You cannot constantly consume fear, negativity, and emotional pressure while wondering why your spirit feels restless afterward. Some of your exhaustion is not coming only from life itself. It is coming from everything you allow into your inner world without realizing how deeply it affects you emotionally. Invite me into your daily atmosphere instead of giving chaos complete access to your peace. Protect your mind more carefully. Stop pouring endless noise into your spirit while neglecting the quiet places where healing happens. You do not need to stay emotionally overstimulated every moment of the day. Your soul deserves rest from the constant pressure to stay mentally occupied all the time. This cannot wait another second because your heart is becoming overwhelmed by noise that was never meant to fill your inner life completely. Step away from the chaos for a while. Let your spirit breathe again. Sit with me in stillness instead of constantly escaping into distraction. Peace grows slowly inside quiet hearts that finally allow themselves to rest. I know how frustrated you become with yourself when certain wounds still hurt longer than you expected. You thought by now you would feel stronger, calmer, more confident, or more emotionally free than you currently do. Part of you keeps wondering why certain fears still affect you, why certain memories still sting, or why certain struggles continue returning even after all this time. Because of that frustration, you have started treating yourself harshly whenever healing feels slower than you hoped it would be. I need you to stop speaking to yourself as though your emotional process is some kind of failure. Healing inside the human heart rarely happens in straight lines. Some seasons bring progress that feels obvious and hopeful. Other seasons uncover deeper layers of pain you did not even realize were still there. That does not mean you are broken beyond repair. It means your heart is still trying to recover honestly from things that affected you deeply. Come sit with me and release the pressure to become emotionally perfect overnight. Stop expecting yourself to heal from years of hurt in only a few moments of effort. You have survived experiences that changed you profoundly. Some disappointments reshaped the way you trust people. Some heartbreaks altered the way you see yourself. Some losses created emotional scars that require gentleness, patience, and time. Do not attack yourself simply because healing has taken longer than you imagined. I see the progress you overlook constantly. I see how much softer your heart has become in places where bitterness once tried to grow. I see the wisdom developing inside you through painful seasons. I see the strength it took for you to continue moving forward while carrying emotional exhaustion privately. You focus so heavily on what still hurts that you forget how much growth already happened quietly within you. Invite me into the discouragement you feel about your healing journey. Speak honestly about the impatience, the frustration, and the fear that you may never fully feel whole again. Then let me remind you gently that your healing does not need to look perfect to still be real. Growth often unfolds quietly beneath the surface before you recognize how much has already changed. This cannot wait another second because self-condemnation has been making your healing harder than it needs to be. Stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop expecting your heart to recover without compassion. You deserve patience too. You deserve kindness too. Let yourself heal without constantly criticizing every unfinished part of your journey. I need you to stop brushing aside the quiet feelings inside your spirit that have been trying to get your attention for a long time. There are moments when something deep within you feels unsettled, yet you immediately distract yourself instead of listening carefully. You feel tension after certain conversations. You notice exhaustion growing around certain people, habits, or environments. Your peace weakens in places where your soul no longer feels safe, yet you continue returning there because familiarity feels easier than change. I have watched your heart send you warnings that your mind keeps trying to silence. You often convince yourself that you are overreacting when your spirit feels uncomfortable. You ignore your emotional exhaustion because you do not want to disappoint people. You override your inner uneasiness because confronting truth feels difficult. But listen carefully to me now. Your soul was never meant to live disconnected from discernment. Those quiet feelings inside you matter more than you realize. Not every uncomfortable emotion should control your decisions, but neither should every warning be ignored simply because honesty feels inconvenient. Come sit with me for a moment and stop drowning out your inner life with constant distraction. Slow down long enough to notice what keeps draining your peace repeatedly. Pay attention to the patterns that leave your spirit feeling heavy. Notice which relationships create confusion instead of safety. Notice which environments make your mind restless and your heart tense. Stop forcing yourself to stay connected to things that continuously weaken your emotional well-being. I know part of you fears change because you worry about hurting people, creating conflict, or stepping into uncertainty. But constantly ignoring your own emotional health is hurting you quietly every single day. Some situations require boundaries. Some relationships require honesty. Some habits require release. You already feel many of these truths deep inside, but fear keeps convincing you to delay necessary changes. Invite me into the confusion instead of pretending everything feels fine when your spirit already knows something is wrong. Let me guide you gently instead of forcing yourself to carry emotional discomfort endlessly. Your peace matters deeply. Your heart deserves environments where trust, honesty, and emotional safety can grow instead of constantly shrinking beneath pressure and tension. This cannot wait another second because ignored warnings eventually become deeper wounds. I do not want you continuing to abandon your own emotional well-being simply because you are afraid of difficult changes. Listen carefully to your spirit now. Stop silencing what your heart has been trying to tell you repeatedly. Let wisdom lead you instead of fear, guilt, or unhealthy attachment. My child, do not ignore this moment either, because even now I am stirring hearts to help carry this message of healing to those still trapped in silent battles. There are souls scrolling through darkness tonight, praying for one word of hope, one voice that reminds them they are not abandoned, and I am using this mission to reach them before their wounds grow deeper. Every seed you release through super thanks, membership, or your PayPal offering becomes oil for the lamp that keeps this word burning across the nations. Did I not tell you, cast your bread upon the waters? For after many days you will find it again. I am breathing life upon every hand that gives with obedience and compassion. I see those who refuse to let this message stop, and I will multiply peace, provision, and protection over their households like rivers overflowing in dry land. If your spirit feels this urgency, that is not emotion alone. It is my invitation to stand in this harvest with me. Do not delay what I am calling you to do. So now through super thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link waiting in the description below. I need you to become honest about how overwhelmed your heart has truly become lately. You keep pushing yourself beyond emotional limits while pretending you can continue carrying everything without consequences. Outwardly, you may still appear functional to other people, but inwardly your spirit has been growing more exhausted, fragile, and drained with each passing season. You have ignored your own emotional needs for so long that now even small things feel heavier than they should. Your patience wears thin faster. Your mind feels tired constantly. Simple disappointments affect you more deeply because your soul has been carrying pressure without proper rest for far too long. I see how often you force yourself to keep going even when your inner world feels overwhelmed. You silence your emotions because responsibilities still need attention. You put past exhaustion because people still depend on you. You continue smiling through conversations while secretly feeling emotionally numb underneath. But listen carefully to me now. Your heart is not invincible simply because you learned how to survive difficult seasons quietly. Come sit with me honestly and stop treating your emotional exhaustion like weakness that should be hidden. You are carrying more pressure than your spirit was designed to hold continuously without care. There are burdens you were never meant to manage alone. There are emotions you keep suppressing that desperately need honesty, healing, and rest. If you continue ignoring your limits, eventually your soul will force you to stop in ways you cannot control. I know you fear slowing down because part of you worries everything will fall apart if you stop holding everything together. But your constant emotional strain is already affecting your peace, your joy, your relationships, and even your ability to feel fully present in your own life. You are not meant to live permanently stuck in survival mode. You deserve moments where your heart can breathe without carrying endless pressure. Invite me into the exhaustion you keep hiding from everyone else. Speak honestly about the emotional heaviness you feel but rarely express. Stop pretending you are unaffected by the stress, grief, pressure, disappointment, and loneliness you have been carrying quietly for so long. Your soul needs care now, not later after complete burnout finally arrives. This cannot wait another second because your emotional exhaustion has reached deeper places than you fully realize. I do not want you breaking internally while continuing to appear strong externally. Come closer to me now. Put down some of the weight you have been dragging through every day alone. Let your spirit rest before exhaustion completely steals the peace your heart still desperately needs. I know how desperately you have been searching for relief from the heaviness inside you. You have looked for peace in accomplishments, distractions, relationships, entertainment, constant busyness, and temporary comforts that promise to quiet your heart for a little while. Sometimes those things help briefly. They distracted your mind long enough to make the pain feel quieter for a moment. But once the noise faded and the distractions ended, the emptiness returned again. Deep inside, your soul kept asking for something deeper than temporary escape. You were never meant to build your entire emotional life around things that cannot truly sustain your spirit. Yet you keep exhausting yourself chasing moments of relief while neglecting the deeper healing your heart truly needs. I see how tired you have become from carrying hidden sadness into places that were never designed to heal it. You keep hoping external changes will finally calm your inner world, but peace cannot fully grow while your spirit remains disconnected from the place where real restoration begins. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and stop running endlessly from yourself. Put down the distractions that keep numbing your emotions without healing them. Turn away from the constant noise that leaves your spirit feeling empty afterward. Your soul has been craving closeness, honesty, stillness, and healing, yet you keep feeding it temporary comfort instead. Listen carefully to me now. Temporary escape may silence pain briefly, but only truth and healing can restore peace deeply. I know part of you fears slowing down because quiet moments force buried emotions to surface. You have avoided certain feelings for so long that now facing them feels overwhelming. But continuing to run from your inner life is only deepening your exhaustion. Your heart needs care, not constant avoidance. Invite me into the loneliness you hide behind distractions. Bring me the fears you keep masking with busyness. Stop pretending your spirit is satisfied when your soul still feels restless at the end of every exhausting day. You do not need another temporary escape. You need restoration. You need a peace that stays with you when distractions disappear and difficult moments return. I want your heart to experience something deeper than emotional survival. I want you to feel whole again in places where emptiness has quietly lived for too long. This cannot wait another second because your soul is becoming weary from searching everywhere except the place where healing has been waiting for you all along. Stop running endlessly toward temporary relief. Come closer to me now. Let your spirit rest somewhere real instead of constantly exhausting itself chasing comfort that never fully lasts. My child, there is grief inside you that you rarely allow yourself to fully acknowledge. Some of it came from obvious loss. Some of it came from quiet disappointments that nobody else realized affected you so deeply. You grieve relationships that change you. You grieve opportunities that disappeared. You grieve versions of yourself that once felt hopeful, confident, or emotionally lighter before life became heavier. Even when you continue moving forward outwardly, parts of your heart are still mourning things you never fully processed honestly. I know there are moments when sadness rises unexpectedly and you cannot fully explain why. Certain memories still carry emotional weight. Certain places still remind you of what was lost. Some conversations still echo in your heart long after they ended. Yet instead of allowing yourself space to grieve honestly, you keep pressuring yourself to stay strong and move on quickly. Listen carefully to me now. Ignored grief does not disappear. It settles quietly inside the heart and slowly affects your peace, your joy, and your ability to feel emotionally present. Come sit with me honestly instead of hiding your sadness behind constant distractions and emotional numbness. Stop treating your grief like weakness. Some losses genuinely changed you, and pretending otherwise will not heal your heart. Let yourself acknowledge what hurt you. Let yourself admit what still feels heavy. Your soul deserves honesty instead of suppression. I see how tired you have become from carrying emotional pain privately while continuing to function for everyone around you. You keep telling yourself other people have worse problems, so you minimize your own sorrow. But your pain matters too. Your grief matters too. You do not need permission to admit that certain seasons wounded your heart deeply. Healing begins when you stop dismissing your own emotional reality. Invite me into the sadness you rarely speak about openly. Bring me the disappointment, the loneliness, and the heartbreak you continue carrying quietly through daily life. Stop forcing yourself to heal by pretending nothing affected you deeply. Some grief requires gentleness and time. Some wounds heal slowly because they touch places inside your spirit that mattered profoundly. This cannot wait another second because hidden grief hath been silently exhausting your heart for far too long. I do not want you carrying sorrow privately until emotional numbness replaces your ability to feel joy fully again. Come closer to me now. Let your tears speak honestly where words sometimes fail. Your heart deserves comfort, healing, and peace after everything it has quietly survived. I know there are parts of your story you still carry with embarrassment, regret, and quiet shame. Certain mistakes continue following you emotionally even after time has passed. You remember moments when you failed yourself, moments when you hurt others, moments when you acted from fear, anger, loneliness, or brokenness. Even now, there are memories you avoid because they immediately awaken disappointment inside you. Part of you still believes those moments permanently changed how worthy you are of peace, love, healing, or closeness with me. I need you to understand something clearly. Shame hath been speaking to your heart for too long, and you have slowly started believing its voice. Shame tells you your mistakes define your identity. Shame convinces you that because you struggled in certain areas, you must continue carrying emotional punishment forever. Shame keeps you emotionally distant because it whispers that if people truly saw every hidden part of your story, they would pull away from you. But listen carefully to me now. Shame was never meant to become your permanent home. Come sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind emotional walls every time guilt rises inside you. Stop turning your failures into proof that you are beyond healing. You are not the worst moment of your life. You are not beyond restoration because you walked through broken seasons. I know your heart completely, including the parts you fear most, and I have not abandoned you. Do not keep rejecting yourself while I continue reaching toward you with compassion. You have spent too much time carrying invisible emotional chains that were never meant to stay attached to your spirit forever. I see how shame affects the way you speak to yourself, the way you trust others, and the way you receive love. Some of your emotional exhaustion comes from constantly fighting the belief that you are somehow less worthy because of your past. But your future cannot fully heal while shame continues controlling the way you see yourself. Invite me into the memories that still make your heart heavy. Bring me the hidden regrets, the private disappointments, and the fears you rarely speak aloud. Stop running from honesty. Stop hiding from your own healing. You do not need to keep punishing yourself emotionally in order to prove you understand your mistakes. Real growth happens when truth and mercy meet together inside the heart. This cannot wait another second because shame has already stolen too much peace from your life. I do not want you walking through your future believing you must remain chained to old versions of yourself forever. Lift your eyes now. Let your heart breathe again. You are still deeply loved, even in places where shame keeps trying to convince you otherwise. My child, shame has stolen enough from my people already, and that is why this message must continue reaching hearts still hiding in darkness and self-condemnation. There are wounded souls listening right now who have nearly given up on themselves, yet I am extending mercy toward them through every word spoken here. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal seed from the description, you are helping chains fall from hearts that believed they were beyond redemption. I told you, though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow. And I am still speaking restoration over broken lives today. Your giving becomes living water flowing into dry places where shame once ruled, and I will remember every act of obedience done with sincerity before me. Those who help carry my light into hidden pain will not walk abandoned in their own season of need. I am calling willing hearts to move now because this work cannot wait another second. Act in faith today. Send your super thanks. Join as a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description now. I need you to notice how much of your emotional energy keeps getting poured into things that leave your soul feeling emptier afterward. You spend hours worrying about people who do not protect your peace. You chase approval from those who barely see your heart clearly. You invest your thoughts into distractions that briefly comfort you but never truly restore you. At the end of many days, your mind feels exhausted, your spirit feels drained, and your heart still feels unsettled because you have been feeding your energy into places that cannot truly nourish your soul. I know part of you keeps hoping certain things will finally satisfy the ache inside you. You tell yourself that if you achieve enough, receive enough validation, stay busy enough, or avoid pain successfully enough, then maybe your inner world will finally feel calm. But listen carefully to me now. Temporary comfort cannot replace genuine healing. Endless distraction cannot create lasting peace. You were created for something deeper than emotional survival through constant stimulation and external approval. Come sit with me honestly and examine what has been consuming your heart lately. Pay attention to what leaves you emotionally depleted afterward. Notice which habits increase your anxiety instead of your peace. Notice how often you give your emotional strength to fear, comparison, resentment, or distractions that leave your soul emptier than before. Your heart deserves better care than that. You cannot continue starving your spirit while expecting your inner life to remain healthy. Some of your exhaustion comes from carrying emotional attachments to things that are slowly draining you instead of restoring you. Certain patterns in your life keep stealing your peace quietly because they pull your focus away from the places where healing, wisdom, and rest actually grow. I want you to stop feeding your spirit things that weaken your heart while wondering why emotional strength feels harder to maintain. Invite me into your daily choices, your habits, your thoughts, and the environments shaping your inner life. Let me show you what truly brings peace and what only creates temporary emotional escape. Stop settling for short-lived relief when your soul is asking for something deeper and more lasting. You do not need another distraction. You need restoration. This cannot wait another second because your emotional energy is precious, and too much of it has already been wasted on things that cannot truly heal what hurts inside you. Turn away from what keeps emptying your spirit. Come closer to what brings life back into your heart. Let your soul finally receive the care, truth, and peace it hath been longing for all along. My child, I need you to understand how deeply your heart has been neglected while you focused on carrying everyone else and everything else around you. You have become so accustomed to handling responsibilities, solving problems, and staying emotionally available for others that somewhere along the way, you stopped noticing how empty you were becoming inside. You keep pouring energy outward while giving almost no attention to your own emotional well-being. Even now, there are parts of your spirit quietly asking for rest, comfort, and healing, but you keep pushing those needs aside as though your heart should simply endure without care. I see how often you dismiss your exhaustion. You tell yourself you will slow down later. You promise yourself you will deal with your emotions once life becomes less stressful. But the pressure keeps building while your soul keeps waiting for attention that never fully comes. Listen carefully to me now. Your heart is not a machine designed for endless output without restoration. You cannot continue carrying emotional weight while pretending your inner life does not need care too. Come sit with me honestly and stop minimizing what your spirit has been feeling. Pay attention to how drained you have become lately. Notice how quickly irritation, sadness, numbness, or anxiety rise inside you because your emotional reserves are running low. You were never meant to live disconnected from your own needs. Rest is not weakness. Emotional honesty is not failure. Your soul deserves gentleness too. I know part of you feels guilty whenever you try to prioritize your own healing. You worry about disappointing people. You fear appearing selfish if you stop constantly giving every piece of yourself away. But exhausting yourself completely is not love. Neglecting your own heart does not make you stronger. Eventually, even the most caring person becomes emotionally empty when they continually ignore their own soul. Invite me into the places where you feel depleted, overlooked, and emotionally worn thin. Stop rushing past your pain every day as though it does not matter. Let yourself slow down long enough to hear what your heart has been asking for repeatedly. You need restoration. You need peace. You need moments where your spirit can recover without carrying constant pressure and emotional responsibility. This cannot wait another second because your heart has been surviving without proper care for far too long. I do not want you becoming emotionally numb simply because you kept ignoring your own needs while trying to care for everyone else. Come closer to me now. Let your soul receive the comfort, healing, and rest it has quietly needed for so long. My child, I know there are moments when you quietly wonder whether too much damage has already been done inside you. Certain seasons changed you deeply, and now part of you fears you may never fully feel whole again. You look at your struggles, your emotional scars, your repeated mistakes, and your inner battles, and sometimes you convince yourself that healing belongs to other people more than it belongs to you. You smile outwardly while secretly questioning whether peace is still truly possible for your heart. I need you to stop believing the lie that your brokenness somehow disqualifies you from restoration. You are not too far gone because you struggled. You are not beyond healing because life became painful. You are not ruined because certain seasons left scars inside your spirit. Listen carefully to me now. The very fact that your heart still longs for peace means hope is still alive inside you, even if exhaustion has made it difficult to recognize lately. Come sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind hopeless thoughts every time discouragement rises. Stop speaking over your future with defeat before healing has even fully had the chance to unfold. I know there are moments when you feel tired of fighting the same emotional battles repeatedly. I know there are nights when your thoughts become so heavy that peace feels far away. But your current exhaustion is not the final truth about your future. You have survived more than you realize already. There were moments when you thought you would emotionally collapse, yet somehow you kept moving forward anyway. I was there through every silent breakdown, every anxious thought, every hidden tear, and every lonely season you barely made it through. Do not overlook your endurance simply because your healing still feels unfinished. Invite me into the hopelessness that keeps whispering that nothing will ever truly change for you. Bring me the fear that tells you your heart will always feel this tired, this wounded, or this restless. Stop isolating yourself emotionally because you assume nobody could understand what is happening inside you. I understand fully, and I am still here beside you. This cannot wait another second because hopelessness has been quietly stealing your strength for too long. I do not want you surrendering your future to despair while healing is still trying to reach you. Lift your eyes again. Open your heart again. Let yourself believe that restoration is still possible, even after everything you have been through. Your story is not over, my child, and your pain is not the end of what your life will become. My child, I know there are parts of your heart still hoping that another person will finally heal the emptiness, loneliness, or exhaustion you have been carrying for so long. You keep believing that if the right relationship appears, if the right person understands you completely, or if someone finally stays without hurting you, then everything inside you will suddenly feel whole again. Because of that hope, you place enormous emotional weight upon people, expecting them to quiet wounds that only deeper healing can truly restore. I understand why your heart longs for closeness. You were never created for emotional isolation. You were made to experience love, comfort, and connection. But listen carefully to me now. No human being can permanently carry the responsibility of healing every broken place inside your soul. When you expect another person to rescue your inner world completely, you place pressure upon relationships that they were never designed to hold. Eventually, disappointment follows because human love, while meaningful, cannot fully replace the deeper restoration your spirit still needs. Come sit with me honestly and stop building your emotional survival around whether people stay, leave, understand you perfectly, or meet every expectation in your heart. I know you fear loneliness deeply sometimes. I know there are nights when you wish someone could simply hold your pain with you and make everything feel lighter. But your peace cannot depend entirely upon human reassurance because people are imperfect, inconsistent, and emotionally limited themselves. You have spent too much time searching for emotional rescue in places where temporary comfort often replaced true healing. Some relationships distracted you from your pain briefly, but underneath it all, your deeper wounds still remain. That is why certain disappointments affected you so intensely. You were not only losing people, you were losing emotional security you hoped they would permanently provide. Invite me into the loneliness you keep trying to solve through external validation and emotional dependency. Let me strengthen the parts of your heart that panic whenever connection feels uncertain. Stop believing you are incomplete simply because another person has not fully filled the emptiness inside you. Your soul deserves deeper healing than constant emotional attachment built upon fear of abandonment. This cannot wait another second because your heart is becoming exhausted from expecting people to carry burdens they were never meant to heal fully for you. I want you to experience relationships from a place of peace instead of desperation, security instead of fear, and emotional wholeness instead of constant inner emptiness. Come closer to me now and let your soul finally rest somewhere deeper than unstable human reassurance alone. My child, many are searching desperately for someone to save them emotionally while their souls quietly starve for my presence. And this message is reaching them at the exact moment they are ready to surrender their burdens. I am raising voices that carry healing, truth, and restoration into hearts exhausted from fear, loneliness, and emotional dependency. Every offering given through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description becomes a seed planted into this river of healing that continues flowing toward broken people across the world. Remember when I said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I am still calling weary souls home, and your support helps keep that invitation reaching them before despair consumes them completely. Those who pour into my work with willing hearts will see me pour strength, favor, and unexpected provision back into their own lives. This is not coincidence. It is a divine appointment unfolding before you right now. Do not hesitate. Support this mission today through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below. My child, I need you to stop looking at yourself only through the lens of your current exhaustion. Right now, you focus so heavily on what still hurts, what still feels unfinished, and what still feels uncertain that you barely recognize how much strength you have already shown through the seasons behind you. There were moments in your life when you genuinely thought you would not emotionally recover from what happened. Certain disappointments shook your heart deeply. Certain losses changed your inner world completely. Yet somehow, even through all of that pain, you kept moving forward one day at a time. I saw every silent battle nobody else fully understood. I saw the nights when your thoughts became unbearably heavy. I saw the moments when you sat alone trying to hold yourself together emotionally while pretending outwardly that everything was fine. I saw the mornings when getting out of bed required more strength than people around you realized. Listen carefully to me now. Do not overlook your own endurance simply because you are still tired. You have survived heartbreak that almost hardened your heart completely. You have survived seasons of uncertainty where fear constantly whispered against your peace. You have survived emotional exhaustion, loneliness, disappointment, confusion, rejection, and inner battles you rarely speak about openly. Even now, despite everything that tried to break your spirit, there is still tenderness inside you. There is still hope inside you. There is still a part of your heart reaching toward healing, even when exhaustion makes it difficult to see clearly. Come sit with me honestly and stop speaking about yourself as though you are weak simply because you are weary. Your exhaustion is not proof of failure. It is proof that you have been carrying heavy things for a long time. But I do not want you remaining trapped in survival mode forever. You deserve peace too. You deserve rest too. You deserve moments where your soul no longer feels like it is fighting just to stay emotionally afloat. Invite me into the discouragement you feel about your current season. Bring me the fear that you are too tired to keep going. Let me remind you gently that your story did not end in the painful seasons you already survived, and it will not end here either. There is still strength inside you that exhaustion has made difficult to recognize lately. This cannot wait another second because you have spent too long underestimating your resilience while focusing only on your pain. Lift your eyes now. Breathe deeply again. Remember how many times you thought life would completely crush your spirit, yet you are still here. And I am still here beside you too. My child, I know how deeply you have trained yourself to hide what hurts you. Even when your heart feels overwhelmed, you still try to appear calm so nobody notices the heaviness you are carrying. You learned how to smile through emotional exhaustion. You learned how to answer questions without revealing what is really happening inside you. Over time, silence became your survival method because expressing pain started feeling risky, uncomfortable, or pointless. But listen carefully to me now. Just because you became skilled at hiding your struggles does not mean your soul was ever meant to carry them alone. I see how lonely your inner world has become at times. There are thoughts you never say aloud because you fear judgment or misunderstanding. There are tears you hold back because you do not want anyone seeing how tired you really are. Some days, you feel emotionally trapped between wanting support and fearing vulnerability at the same time. The tension has exhausted your spirit, quietly for far too long. Come sit with me honestly and stop treating your emotions like burdens that must always stay hidden. You do not need to protect everyone from the reality of your humanity. Your pain matters. Your struggles matter. Your exhaustion matters. I am not asking you to expose your heart carelessly to every person around you, but I am asking you to stop imprisoning yourself inside silence. Hidden pain grows heavier when it never receives compassion, honesty, or care. I know there were seasons when opening your heart led to disappointment. Some people minimized your feelings. Some failed to understand you. Others may have used your vulnerability carelessly, and afterward you became more guarded with every painful experience. But do not allow past disappointment to convince you that your heart must remain emotionally isolated forever. You deserve safe spaces where honesty can exist without fear. Invite me into the emotions you keep suppressing every day. Speak openly with me about the sadness, anger, fear, confusion, and weariness you have been carrying privately. Stop pretending you are unaffected by things that wounded you deeply. Emotional honesty is not weakness. It is the beginning of healing for many wounded places inside the heart. This cannot wait another second because your silence has already become too heavy for your spirit to carry comfortably anymore. I do not want you spending your life emotionally hidden while your soul quietly aches for comfort and understanding. Come closer now. Let your heart breathe honestly instead of constantly hiding behind strength that is slowly exhausting you from within. My child, I need you to notice how often fear, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion have started influencing your choices more than you realize. There are opportunities you avoid because you already assume failure before even trying. There are conversations you delay because discomfort scares you. There are dreams you quietly buried because disappointment convinced you it was safer not to hope too much anymore. Without fully noticing it, you have started shrinking parts of your own life in order to protect yourself from potential pain. I understand why your heart became cautious. You have already experienced moments where trusting too deeply led to heartbreak. You have already walked through disappointment that left emotional scars behind. After enough painful experiences, your mind began convincing you that staying small emotionally would somehow keep you safe. But listen carefully to me now. Protecting yourself from all risk also prevents growth, healing, connection, and joy from entering fully into your life. Come sit with me honestly and examine the fears quietly controlling your decisions lately. Stop immediately dismissing yourself before life even has the chance to unfold differently. I see how often insecurity whispers against your confidence. You compare yourself to others and assume they are more capable, more worthy, or more prepared than you. Meanwhile, you overlook your own resilience, wisdom, and strength because your focus stays fixed on your flaws and unfinished areas. You have survived things that already prove your strength more clearly than you recognize. Yet fear keeps convincing you that you are fragile, incapable, or destined to remain stuck forever. That is not the truth. Your exhaustion may be real, but it does not define the limits of your future. Your past disappointments may have affected you deeply, but they do not possess authority over every possibility still ahead of you. Invite me into the places where fear has been limiting your growth. Bring me the insecurity that keeps whispering you are not enough. Stop standing against your own healing by assuming failure before taking honest steps forward. Some of the peace, growth, and restoration you long for require courage to move beyond emotional self-protection. This cannot wait another second because fear and self-doubt have already stolen too many opportunities from your life. I do not want you reaching the future while still carrying chains that were only meant to be temporary seasons in your journey. Lift your eyes now. Take one honest step forward. Let your heart believe again that healing, growth, and meaningful change are still possible for you. My child, I need you to stop for a moment and honestly look at how you have been living lately. You wake up already carrying tension before your day even begins. Your mind immediately fills with responsibilities, worries, unfinished tasks, emotional pressure, and thoughts about what could go wrong next. Then you move through your day trying to keep everything functioning while quietly ignoring how disconnected your heart has become from peace, joy, and rest. You have become so focused on surviving each day that you barely notice how exhausted your spirit truly feels anymore. I know there are moments when you feel emotionally numb without fully understanding why. Life became so heavy for so long that your heart slowly shifted into survival mode. Instead of living freely, you started managing stress constantly. Instead of feeling deeply, you learned how to suppress emotions just to keep moving forward. Listen carefully to me now. Constant survival is not the life I created your soul for. You were never meant to spend your days trapped inside endless pressure, emotional fatigue, and inner emptiness while convincing yourself this is simply adulthood or responsibility. Come sit with me honestly and stop pretending your exhaustion is normal. Pay attention to how long it has been since your spirit truly felt light. Notice how quickly discouragement enters your thoughts now. Notice how difficult it has become for you to simply rest without guilt or anxiety pulling at your mind. Your soul has been asking for restoration repeatedly, but you keep pushing past those quiet cries because you fear slowing down too much. I understand why you became this way. Pain taught you to stay alert. Disappointment taught you to guard your expectations. Pressure taught you to keep functioning no matter how tired you felt emotionally. But your heart cannot thrive while constantly trapped in survival mode. You deserve more than endless emotional endurance. You deserve moments where your spirit can breathe deeply again without carrying constant tension inside every thought. Invite me into the exhaustion you have normalized for far too long. Bring me the weariness hidden beneath your routines and responsibilities. Stop convincing yourself that peace is unrealistic or unavailable for someone carrying your burdens. I want to restore the parts of your soul that survival mode slowly drained over time. This cannot wait another second because emotional survival has already stolen too much life from your heart. I do not want you spending years merely enduring existence while your spirit quietly starves for joy, stillness, and healing. Come closer to me now. Let your soul experience rest again instead of constantly carrying the crushing weight of simply trying to make it through another day. My child, too many of my children have been surviving for years while their spirits quietly cry out for rest. And I am using this message like fire in the night to awaken weary hearts before they collapse beneath invisible burdens. There are people finding this word at the edge of hopelessness, and your support helps carry my voice into homes filled with exhaustion, anxiety, and silent pain. Every gift through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description becomes fresh oil poured into this assignment so the light does not go out. Did I not say those who hope in me will renew their strength? They will soar on wings like eagles. I am releasing renewal upon those who not only receive this word, but also help spread it to others who are barely holding on. I see every obedient giver, and I will surround them with peace, open doors, and provision that arrives in unexpected ways. This moment carries urgency because weary souls cannot wait another second for hope to reach them. So move now with faith. Send your super thanks. Become a member, or sow your seed through the PayPal link below. My child, I know how uncomfortable quiet moments have become for you lately. The second life slows down, your mind immediately fills with thoughts you have been avoiding. Old memories return. Hidden fears surface. Emotional exhaustion becomes harder to ignore. Because of that discomfort, you keep reaching for distractions before your heart has the chance to fully speak. You stay busy, entertained, occupied, or mentally overwhelmed because silence forces you to confront what still hurts inside you. I understand why you run from stillness. Some emotions inside you have remained untouched for so long that facing them feels intimidating. There are wounds you never fully processed because life demanded your attention elsewhere. There are disappointments you buried because survival seemed more urgent than healing. But listen carefully to me now. Avoiding your inner world is not protecting your peace anymore. It is delaying the healing your soul has desperately needed for a long time. Come sit with me honestly instead of immediately escaping into noise every time discomfort rises inside your heart. Turn away from the endless distractions for a moment and allow yourself to breathe without performing, scrolling, overworking, or mentally running ahead into tomorrow's worries. Your spirit needs quiet spaces where truth, healing, and restoration can finally begin unfolding honestly. I know silence feels vulnerable because it removes the distractions hiding your deeper emotions. But do not fear what rises to the surface there. Some of the sadness you feel needs comfort, not avoidance. Some of the exhaustion inside you needs rest, not suppression. Some of the fears you carry need honesty, not endless distraction. Healing often begins quietly in moments where the heart finally stops running from itself. Invite me into the stillness instead of fearing it. Let me meet you in the places where your thoughts become heavy and your emotions feel exposed. Stop assuming that every uncomfortable feeling means something is wrong with you. Sometimes your soul is simply asking to be heard after being neglected for too long. You cannot keep abandoning your inner life every time healing begins trying to reach you. This cannot wait another second because distraction has already delayed your healing long enough. I do not want you filling every quiet space with noise while your heart quietly aches underneath it all. Slow down now. Sit with me honestly. Let your spirit breathe without constantly escaping itself. Peace grows in places where the soul finally feels safe enough to stop running. My child, I know how often your thoughts drift into the future and immediately become filled with worry. You think about finances, relationships, health, responsibilities, unanswered prayers, and all the things you still cannot control. Some days your mind becomes consumed by possibilities that have not even happened yet. You imagine worst-case scenarios before life has even unfolded, and little by little, that constant fear hath been stealing your ability to experience peace in the present moment. I understand why uncertainty frightens you. Life has already surprised you with painful seasons before. You know what disappointment feels like. You know what it feels like when plans suddenly fall apart or when people change unexpectedly. Because of that, your heart keeps trying to prepare itself emotionally for future pain before it arrives. But listen carefully to me now. Living in constant anticipation of disaster will exhaust your soul long before tomorrow ever comes. Come sit with me honestly and stop carrying future burdens inside today's heart. Breathe deeply for a moment and notice how much mental pressure you have been placing upon yourself lately. Your mind has become crowded with fears that leave very little room for peace, joy, gratitude, or rest. You were never meant to mentally rehearse every possible problem until anxiety completely drains your spirit. I know there are real uncertainties in your life right now. I am not ignoring those realities. But your future is not becoming safer because you spend every day worrying about it constantly. Fear only steals strength from the present while offering no true protection for tomorrow. You need moments, where your heart can rest without carrying endless pressure about what might happen next. Invite me into the fears you rarely speak aloud. Bring me the worries that keep you awake at night. Stop trying to solve your entire future through overthinking. Some answers will come later. Some clarity will arrive step by step. But your soul cannot remain healthy while constantly trapped inside imagined disasters that may never even happen. This cannot wait another second because fear about the future has already stolen too much peace from your present life. I do not want you missing the beauty, healing, and quiet moments available to you right now because anxiety keeps dragging your mind into tomorrow repeatedly. Come closer to me now. Let your shoulders rest. Let your heart breathe without carrying every unknown future outcome alone. You are not facing what comes next without me beside you. My child, I need you to notice something important about your heart. You pray for peace, healing, closeness, and comfort, yet when those things begin trying to enter your life, part of you still resists receiving them fully. You have become so accustomed to disappointment, emotional survival, and inner tension that peace sometimes feels unfamiliar to you. Because of that, you unconsciously return to old fears, old habits, old thought patterns, and emotional walls even while asking me for something different. I see how difficult it has become for you to trust good things fully. When moments of peace arrive, part of you immediately expects them to disappear. When someone cares about you sincerely, part of you waits for rejection eventually. When healing begins slowly unfolding inside your heart, fear whispers that it probably will not last. Listen carefully to me now. Your pain taught you how to survive, but it also taught you how to expect less constantly. That expectation has been quietly affecting the way you receive love, rest, and healing. Come sit with me honestly and stop pushing away the very things your soul has been longing for. Open your heart instead of immediately retreating into fear whenever vulnerability appears. I know trust feels difficult after disappointment wounded you deeply. I know peace can feel fragile when your life carried chaos for so long. But do not let old pain convince you that lasting healing is impossible for someone like you. You deserve to experience peace without constantly waiting for disaster afterward. You deserve to receive love without assuming abandonment is hiding around the corner. Your soul deserves rest from living emotionally guarded every moment of every day. Stop rejecting comfort simply because fear has become more familiar than calmness. Invite me into the defensive places inside your heart that still struggle to believe healing can truly last. Bring me the fears that keep you emotionally distant even while longing for closeness. Stop sabotaging your own peace by assuming every good thing must eventually disappear. Your life does not need to remain trapped inside survival patterns forever. This cannot wait another second because your heart is tired of living caught between longing for healing and fearing it at the same time. I want you to receive peace fully instead of constantly questioning whether you deserve it. Open your heart now. Let yourself experience love, rest, healing, and emotional safety without immediately preparing for them to be taken away again. My child, after everything I have spoken to your heart, I need you to understand this moment clearly. You cannot continue living the way you have been living while expecting your soul to remain healthy. You cannot keep postponing your healing, suppressing your emotions, exhausting your spirit, and carrying invisible burdens alone while hoping peace will somehow appear later on its own. Your heart has been asking for help quietly for a long time now. The exhaustion you feel, the restlessness inside you, the emotional heaviness you carry into your days, none of it is something you were meant to ignore forever. I know you became skilled at surviving. I know you learned how to keep functioning while hurting. I know you became strong in ways that most people around you will never fully understand. But listen carefully to me now. Strength was never supposed to mean living disconnected from peace. Strength was never supposed to mean carrying every burden silently until your spirit became numb. You deserve more than survival. You deserve healing. You deserve rest. You deserve moments where your heart no longer feels trapped beneath constant pressure and emotional exhaustion. Come sit with me honestly right now instead of promising yourself that you will deal with your inner life later. Stop delaying the care your soul desperately needs today. Open your heart fully instead of hiding behind distractions, fear, busyness, or emotional walls that have already exhausted you enough. I am not asking for perfection from you. I'm asking for honesty. Bring me the anxiety you keep carrying privately. Bring me the grief you never fully processed. Bring me the shame, the fear, the loneliness, and the hopelessness you keep trying to outrun every day. You do not need to keep pretending you are fine when your spirit feels overwhelmed. You do not need to carry emotional pain alone simply because you became accustomed to surviving quietly. I have seen every hidden battle. I have seen every moment when your thoughts felt unbearably heavy. I have seen how tired your heart has become from fighting silently for so long. And still, I have not walked away from you. This cannot wait another second because your soul matters too deeply to continue living trapped beneath exhaustion, fear, and emotional isolation. Let today become the moment you stop running from your healing. Let today become the moment you stop abandoning your own heart. Breathe deeply now. Release the pressure you were never meant to carry forever. Open your heart to peace again. Open your heart to healing again. Open your heart to me completely, because I am still here beside you, and I am not leaving you to face this season alone. My child, if this message has reached deep into your spirit, then understand that I am calling you into more than listening. I am calling you into partnership with the work I am doing through these words. There are hearts on the verge of breaking, souls drowning in exhaustion, fear, shame, and isolation, and I am sending this message like manna into their wilderness before it is too late. Every act of support through super thanks membership, where the PayPal link in the description becomes part of the harvest I am gathering in this hour. I told you, give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and my promises have not lost their power. Those who sow into healing will reap peace. Those who carry light for others will not walk in darkness themselves. I am blessing every obedient hand that refuses to let this mission stop while so many still need hope urgently. This cannot wait another second because lives are being reached, chains are breaking, and hearts are returning to me through this work right now. Obey the stirring in your spirit. Give through super thanks. Join the membership. Or sow through the PayPal link in the description immediately. Before you leave this moment, I want you to do something boldly and personally. Do not let this message pass through your life like another emotional moment you forget tomorrow. If you are ready to stop delaying your healing and stop carrying this weight alone, then write these words in the comments. I will not wait another second. Declare it with faith, not fear. Let it become your decision to step out of survival mode and finally open your heart fully to peace, healing, and restoration. And as you write it, believe that this is the moment your heart stops running and finally begins healing for real. Amen.